What made the happiest kid at your school snap? If you asked anyone about Miles back in high school, they'd say the same thing. Happiest kid they ever met. We started calling him Miles in middle school, short for Smiles, because the guy literally always had one plastered on his face. When Cody Mitchell dumped an entire cafeteria tray on him sophomore year, Miles just laughed, stood there covered in spaghetti sauce, grinning like it was the best joke he'd ever heard. Dude, you good? I asked him after. He just shrugged. Cody's having a rough week. Whatever. Thing was, the guy smiled through everything. Bullying, pop quizzes, getting cut from JV basketball. And no matter what happened to him during the day, 3:15 sharp he was gone to his part-time job. I thought nothing could actually get to him. Then 10th grade happened. Emma Zupan, this quiet girl from our English class, got assaulted by 3 varsity players at Dylan Torres' house party. The whole school knew within days because those idiots bragged about it in the locker room like they'd won state. That's when Miles stopped smiling, just completely shut down overnight. No more laughing things off, no more "it's fine" when someone shoved past him. Just dead eyes staring through people. There were texts. Witnesses saw her barely conscious when they dragged her upstairs. Didn't matter. Their parents hired lawyers. The school buried it. Police said insufficient evidence. Emma tried to survive it. She came back to school and lasted 8 weeks of pure hell. Their smirking faces in the hallways. Notes shoved in her locker describing that night. Whispered reminders that followed her everywhere until she couldn't breathe. By November, she transferred to a different school, but trauma doesn't care about zip codes. 3 weeks later, they found her dead with a note that named all 3 of them. And none of it mattered because their parents had money and the school needed their best players for a championship run. Everything got swept under the rug while those 3 kept suiting up every Friday night. I saw Miles at her funeral, standing alone in back, just paying respects, he said when I asked. Weird thing was, I didn't even know they were friends. The rest of high school passed in a fog. Then somehow we both ended up at the same state college. Bumped into each other at orientation, and by sophomore year we were roommates. He'd help me through organic chem. I'd drag him to parties. Miles stayed quiet, but with me he'd actually laugh sometimes. Then one night after we destroyed our rival school in homecoming, both of us drunk on cheap beer and victory, he asked me something strange. Remember Emma Zupan? Of course I did. Remember those 3 guys? He opened his laptop. The screen showed dozens of folders, each labeled with their names. This one works at McDonald's now, he said, clicking through files with practiced ease. Lost his scholarship when his GPA tanked. How do you even know that? I asked. Miles didn't answer, just pulled up another folder. This one's doing 18 months for assault. Different girl, but the prosecutor got an anonymous tip about his history. He clicked again. A news article appeared. And this one never made it to college. Lives at home, no job, posts angry rants about how the world screwed him over. I stared at the screen. The folders kept going. Dozens of them. Years of information. Miles, where'd you get all this? He pulled up more screenshots. Group chat messages where they joked about assaulting Emma. Employment applications, college essays, everything. Sent these to the right people, he said like he was discussing the weather. College admissions offices, scholarship committees, potential employers, just made sure their own words found the right audience. There were spreadsheets, color-coded, tracking their lives across 3 years. Every application, every opportunity, every attempt they made to move forward. I got myself assigned to their group projects, he continued, scrolling through what looked like a 3-year plan. Submitted things late, gave them wrong study guides, tanked their grades just enough. I'm getting a little weirded out now, dude. I leaned back from the laptop. Why do you have all this? He looked at me with that same calm expression, but his eyes were different, satisfied, exhausted. Because I did it. He paused. Emma wasn't just some girl from English class. She was my best friend since middle school. We were lab partners. Both wanted to be doctors. I saw tears in his eyes. After she died, I quit my actual job and spent 20 hours a week for 3 years, making sure those guys would never succeed. I learned one guy's email by reading over his shoulder, used it to access their accounts, map their entire digital lives. When they applied for internships, anonymous tips arrived about pending investigations. When they tried joining fraternities, brothers received their assault jokes forwarded from anonymous accounts. He closed one folder, opened another. The methodical nature of it all stunned me. Nothing illegal, Miles emphasized, just strategic documentation and distribution of truth. The system gave them a pass because they could throw a ball. I made sure Karma had their forwarding address. He paused. They destroyed her in one night. I took 3 years to return the favor. Why tell me? I asked. Because you're my friend. Because I needed someone to know. He closed the laptop. Sometimes I wonder if I went too far. I thought about Emma's little brother at the funeral, asking why his sister wasn't coming home for Christmas. I thought about those 3 guys graduating like heroes while her desk sat empty. They got what they deserved, I said. The system let them walk free. Miles made sure they'd never walk far, and I'm glad he did it.